I'm excited to be here with you today. I'm Mrs. Burton, and hi there, and I am an instructional coach. And all that means is I'm a teacher who gets to work with amazing teachers like yours, and we get to figure out the best way to teach you reading and writing and math, but today we're focusing on reading. So we're going to do some reading work together today. Does that sound like a good idea? Yes. Can we do that? Wonderful. So we're going to start, and it's going to be a little bit different today. So today, how it's going to work, is it on? Okay. So today, how it's going to work, because we're all learning how to be better teachers and learn how to do this work best, is that we're actually going to switch off teaching. And sometimes we might even kind of push this pause button and talk about what we're noticing, and we might talk about where we think we need to go next. Is that all right? Is it all right if sometimes we push the pause button and you can either talk quietly to yourselves or you can freeze? Is that all right? I could tell you guys would be so agreeable to this. Awesome. You know what, I'll even just leave this right here and we'll just pin this right to your scarf.
Okay, sounds good. Good morning, boys and girls. I'm so excited to be here. And it's very important for me to be here with you. And one thing that Miss O told me is that you are excellent in making connections with text to text and text to self connection. Is that true? Yes. There we go. So we are going to see this book. This is the book that we are going to read today. And the name is Olivia and the Missing Toy. Look at the cover. Let me stand up so you can see it better. And I want you to start using your brain and start thinking about something that happened to you, something that you saw in a book or you read in a book. All right? Do you have a connection with?
Text to self, because I lost a toy and I was trying to look around till I found it.
Oh, that's nice. I love your connection. You know what, guys? We are going to do turn and talk. So after 3, you're going to start talking to your partner about what you thought with this when you saw this book in the title. What makes you think? Okay, 1, 2, 3, and start talking to your partner about it. You have a minute.
And teachers, here's the neat thing too that you did. Like even in that connection, she was very explicit and laid the groundwork for the text to self and the text to text connection, knowing that they've already done that. So awesome. Thank you so much.
Oops.
And you want to listen in just real quick before we go. Oh, just a minute. Did you tell your friend your connection? Did you make a text to text or text to self? You did? Did this remind you of something? What did it remind you of?
Somebody threw a toy in the trash and I lost it and it broke.
That's so sad. Okay, wonderful. Boys and girls, yep, that's good. And I'm taking that next part, remember that first model. So boys and girls, and already, just because and teachers too, I kind of want to highlight because somebody had a connection. So I'm thinking I kind of want to highlight that because I'm thinking this might be a great place even already to begin laying the groundwork for how it helps us understand the story. So buddy, will you share with everybody again, real loud, you made a text to self connection. What was that text to self connection you made?
Someone threw a toy in my trash can and it broke.
Someone threw your toy in a trash can and you lost it. So I'm wondering, does that help you understand how maybe Olivia was feeling? Because how were you feeling?
Sad.
How do you think Olivia was maybe feeling about her missing toy?
Sad.
Do you think so? Boys and girls, did you see how our connections can help us better understand the text? So here's what we're going to do. So I'm going to put our objectives up here. So I can make text to self and text to text connections. I know you're doing both, aren't you? You're doing both kinds of connections. And then, here's the language we're going to use. We will use the sentence stem that reminds me. So that might help us too a little bit. Okay? So let's go ahead. Let's begin reading a little bit. Olivia and the missing toy. One day, Olivia was riding a camel in Egypt. Egypt? What is she doing in Egypt? When her mother woke her up. Oh, you know what I just realized? I've read this book a few times. What? She was dreaming. Time to get up, sweetie pie. Remember, you have soccer this morning.
Awesome.
Olivia's uniform comes in a really unattractive green. It means, unattractive means it just was kind of ugly. It wasn't very pretty. Mommy, can you make me a red soccer shirt like this one, please? But then you'll look different from everyone else on the team, explained her mother. That's the point. Oh, you know what this makes me think? That reminds me of my daughter, how she likes to be different. Do you know what she likes to do? I'm going to write that. I'm going to draw a picture for Stephen, too. She likes to wear, oops, that doesn't look like a sock, but you can tell these are socks. And she likes to wear socks that are always mismatched, because I think she likes to be different. So that reminds me of how, and I just crossed out because I needed to fix it. I just put a line through it. That reminds me of how my daughter wears mismatched or different socks. She's so silly. Awesome. Yeah. And here we're going to do that thing where we kind of swap out teachers. So Mrs. O is going to come on up. I'll let you just pinch that in somewhere.
Okay.
And I'll hold this when you
I
need
don't
it.
know where that's gonna.
Perfect.
When Olivia came home from practice, her mother was working on the shirt. "Is it done yet?" she asked. "Not yet," her mother said. Olivia waited and waited and waited till she was too exhausted to wait any longer. Now I want you to think, has there ever been a time where you've had to wait and wait and wait? How did it make you feel? Turn and talk to your partner. Tell them when you had to wait and how it made you feel.
Now let's listen in. Oh, good. Good for tapping your partner. Tell about another connection. Did you each get a turn to go? All right, what did you notice?
They're making those connections of their life texts. So she's talking about the doctor and waiting for the bus.
Wonderful. Any text-to-text connections that you heard?
Not so far.
Okay. Teachers, are you thinking anything, wondering anything about the pacing or the moving along? They're definitely, obviously, they seem very comfortable with this work. And I loved it. Tell me your name, sweetheart. Eliara. Did I say that right? Eliara, she's such a good partner. You know what I noticed you did? Like, you tapped your partner to get him to listen to you because you really wanted to share your thinking, didn't you? That's awesome. Wonderful. All right. Let's see what's next. Ange, you want to come on up? actually. Yep. Stick it right there.
So, she went out to play with the cat. "Look, darling, it's all done," said her mother. No more green. But something was missing. "Wait a second," said Olivia. "Where's my toy?" You all see how the text was getting bigger? Maybe that might be something that's important to her. The author, when they make big text, they purposely do it.
Like she's yelling, huh? Like her voice is getting louder, you think?
What do you see again?
Bigger words.
Bigger text. So that means I'm going to have to read louder because the author wants me to read louder. "Where's my toy? It was right there on the bed. I just put it there. I remember exactly. That's my best toy. I need it now. Somebody took my best toy." Olivia looked everywhere. Under the rug? I don't know, but you know what this makes me think of? This makes me think of a time, 2 times actually, that I lost my whole set of car keys and house keys, and they never came back. And do you know what my husband said to me? "You are so irresponsible." Do you know what that means? Irresponsible means like when you're not responsible. You're not taking care of your stuff. And that made me kind of sad. That made me think, I might be irresponsible. You know what I think? I think maybe Olivia must be feeling that way about her toy. She must be thinking that she's not responsible, right? So I'm going to write that down. I'm going to write.
That's so cool, boys and girls. Did you see what she just did? She shared her connection, and she shared how it helps her understand the text, just like you did, buddy, when we first started, right? I bet we could just draw a line. So that's something you could do too. We could put our connection on top, draw a line, and underneath put how it helped us understand the text. Yeah, what are you thinking?
It reminds me of when I had a bunch of Pokemon cards, 130, 146 Pokemon cards, right? Then I was playing with them, right? And 2 of them got lost, and then I never found them until yesterday. I found them.
Well, that's exciting. Here's the thing. You know what I love about the connection? You know what I just noticed? Tell me your name, bud.
Anthony.
Anthony? His connection had so much detail. We know what happened to him and not just what happened to Olivia.
So I put on here that it reminded me of how I lost my keys and how I was told that I was irresponsible. And then I drew a line to show that I think that Olivia must be feeling the same way about her toy. She must be feeling irresponsible.
I love how you shared that. Thank you so much. I'll steal that back. And then, so sorry. Yeah, and then Mr. Clancy, yes. Mr. Kelly is going to come on up. Boys and girls, you are so patient with us. I can't thank you enough for how patient you are. Here, I'm going to want me to stick this on right on here. Is that all right?
Oh, yeah, sure. Clip me.
I'll clip you. There you go.
I'm Mr. Kelly.
Hi, Mr. Kelly.
Hello. So what do we got here? Book about pigs, a family of pigs. Oh, not 3 and not little, and they don't build straw houses. Okay. So she just screaming out.
Connection, kind of?
It made me think of the 3 pigs.
It made you think of the 3 pigs?
Just listen from over there.
There you go.
Okay, so she was looking everywhere under the rug. Here we go. So the next page. Wow, she's strong. Under the sofa, she looked. Under the cat. Under the cat. Okay, Olivia. She asked her little brother Ian, "What did you do with my toy?" Now, before we had the large, but it was still normal. They had the small letters, but they just made it big. And we can't do that when we're writing, right? We can't write huge in our journals. So you can also use capital letters. And that way, a capital letter, even though it's the same size in your journal, it says, that you're kind of angry. Have you
yelling.
Yeah. Have you ever felt like that when you? Yeah. This reminds me. It happened once. I accused my sister of taking something, and I was sure she did it. And then a couple hours later, I found it. But you know what? I was too ashamed that I accused her, so I never told her that I found it. And so, still to this day, So, has that ever happened to you, where you accuse somebody of something? Yeah. Can you guys do the little talk to each other and turn and talk and maybe tell them what you're...
I'll take this so you can listen in. Go listen to their... Guys, I'm going to switch back here so I can listen into the back. Oh, keep talking.
We already finished.
You finished? Yeah? Did you have a connection? What did it make you think? Have you ever blamed somebody or been blamed?
No, I blame my sister because she almost lost my money.
Oh, no. Did that make you think of something? What?
I blame my grandma because she forgot my blimp when I moved to another house.
Oh, how do you think that made her feel? How do you think that made her feel when you blamed her?
Difficult.
Yeah, it was kind of difficult for her. I wonder if that made her kind of sad. Mr. Clancy, do you want to stay with me and walk with him through how that helps them understand the text? Yeah. Here, okay.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. Do you want to talk about how did that, Mr. Clancy, or Mr. Kelly, did that connection help you understand the text better?
Yeah,
How you blamed your sister?
Yeah, it helped me understand Olivia's state of mind and how she was thinking at this time. Because she was panicking. Because she's panicking because obviously she loves her toy. And so, I could see that she's panicking. So that made me realize when something bad happens to me, sometimes I lose control. And I should get control if I can.
Oh. Kingston, you had a connection too. I'll let you go ahead and jot that while.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Kingston, you had a connection too. You were saying that you blamed your grandma. What did you blame your grandma for? For losing your blimp?
Yes, it's at the other house when I moved to another house.
Oh. And how did that help you understand the story, you think?
That she lost her toy.
So she lost her toy like you lost your blimp? She blamed her brother and you blamed your grandma? Yeah? Do you understand? Does it help you understand how Olivia's feeling? Or does it help you understand how the brother's feeling? What do you think?
And the brother's feeling sad.
Oh, when he got blamed? Yeah, look at that. You guys are so good at this, making connections. So the neat thing here, I feel like we're really going into more modeling of how our connection is helping us understand the text. And I don't. So what are you thinking, Mr. Kelly, and everybody else?
I think I'd like to hear see the kids maybe work independently and maybe try to look at another book and see if
Perfect.
they could do exactly what we did here.
Perfect. Do you want to read us your connection that you wrote?
Oh,
and how it helped you understand the text?
Yeah, well, my connection was the story I told you, and
Yep.
like I say, when I lose control, of myself, when I lose something, I have to realize, it's about me. It's not about other people. So I shouldn't be pointing the finger and playing the blame game until I'm sure,
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Kelly. I
no
appreciate
problem.
that. Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah. You have the easy part right here. Here. Yeah. Yep. That's all right. There you go.
Okay, so what I want you guys to do next, because you guys are super, super smart, is you're going to go into your book bags and you're going to find a book that you're currently working on, that you're reading, that you're making these inferences and these connections, and take it out and work all by yourself on this. Does everybody understand? Remember that good readers make connections, and that's how we're going to become really, really, really smart for the next year in 3rd grade, correct? You guys are going to be 3rd graders next year? Not you? Well, let's hope that we all do. Now, who can raise their hand and tell me exactly what they're going to do right now? Yes, Jaden. Jaden.
We're gonna go get our book bags and we're
Get your
gonna
book bags.
Text yourself
You do text to text or text to self on what?
on the book that you're reading.
on a book that you're already reading. Good job. Are there any questions on what you're going to do right now? Does anybody know where they're going to be writing these?
I was going to ask, do they have Post-its at their seat that they can just use, or you want them to use the clipboards? Yeah. Great.
Okay, so do they have it already made or not yet?
No, yep, they're all right here.
Oh, perfect.
So we'll pass
Okay.
them out.
Then if we can get
And you know what, boys and girls, too? I was just going to say, because I might be coming around and talking to some of you, maybe if you have some books in your book bag that you've already been making connections with, have that out and ready, because I might say, oh, can you show me a place where you've made a connection in your book? Can we do some of that together, too? Wonderful.
Can we get the first row to stand up and go ahead and take your clipboard as you go in a line? As you head back. Here you go. Oh, you can go first. Here you go. Oh, where's she going? Here you go.
And
Good
teachers,
job.
this was a nice
Second row.
lesson. I mean, really from 9-ish.
Second
What
row,
time
go ahead
did-
and
what time
stand
did we
up.
start?
Thank you. Here you
A
go.
little after 9, so it was good 25 minutes. Getting them started.
You're welcome. I like your manners.
And then Mrs. O.
You're
I think I
welcome.
left the list in
Does
the other room.
anyone
Do you
else
know
need
those
a
strategy group kiddos?
portable desk? Okay. I'm pretty sure I see one.
Are they, do they do, where do they?
to your desk.
Okay.
You can take it back to your desk.
And if you just call those other kiddos to the rug. Awesome. That was awesome. Thank you so much. Teachers, you rocked it. Thank you for jigsawing together. And then will you, yep. just-
Alani, Joey, Scarlett, come back over here.
Was there one more? Is there, just grab another one, because I'd like them to be able to.
Kingston.
You're so polite, but yeah, perfect. And then teachers, if you want to even come around and come at the back of the rug, that's fine. If you want to, or even over on this side, you listen in.
Yes, some of you have it.
Because we're going to do that strategy group right now. Perfect. And then Kingston is coming on over. You know what, like while we're waiting for Kingston, look through your books, see if you have a Post-it on a connection that you've already made. And if not, go back and look in a book that and see where you could maybe make a connection. And use a Post-it and put the Post-it right there in the book. Miss O, do we want them to take the Post-its off the sheet and put them in the book? It's up to you, whatever. Off of the, for what about everybody else over here? Do you want them to just leave the Post-it on the, it would probably be easier for us to look at if we leave it on the clipboard. Okay. All right. Oh, so go ahead and look through a book. See if you have any Post-its already that have connections in there. Otherwise, go ahead. See if you can make a connection. Okay? Yes. So when you make a text to text or text to self, go ahead and write it down. And Miss O, was Kingston one of the students you starred? You starred a couple students for me. Joey, awesome. Okay. Okay. As we read together, can we read together a little bit and see if there's a place where you make a connection? Yeah? Oh, look at this. What is this page about?
Our kinks.
Yeah, you want to read that to me?
Kinks are many.
Yeah, there's that MIDI.
Many.
MIDI, is that a word you know? No, let's try, what else could I say? Mighty?
Mighty.
Does that sound like a word you know? Mighty, really strong. Tanks?
Are
Mighty,
fine.
fighting,
Fighting.
machines.
Machines.
Skip it and go on.
Armors
Let's see.
use tanks in battle.
So who used tanks? What word could that be? Arm. Sound close to word? Armies? Could it be armies? armies, like, right? Soldiers, armies use tanks in battles. Is this making you think something? Do you have a connection? What's that making you think? What does it remind you of?
Of my dad, my stepdad, my brother's dad, he used to be in the soldier team.
Oh, he used to be a soldier? Yeah? It reminds you of it. Go ahead and write that down. That's awesome. Do you have a pencil? That's great, buddy. Yep, let me get you one. Just needed a pencil. Oh. Borrow this one. Here, buddy. Awesome. So, how would you say it? That reminds me? How would you say that? Can you say it to me? Can we use that language? That reminds me? Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, keep going and keep making connections. So teachers, sometimes a strategy group too, just if they had connections, it'd be a great way for me to quickly check in with them. But also just having them all here allows me to easily get them started. I can go back and pop in with some others and do some conferences. But rather than feeling like a chicken with my head cut off and having to go and find them all, I know it's easy for me to check back in. But strategy groups could look different. It might be a little more explicit teaching too. But I kind of want to see what they're doing first. And then Mrs. O, there was somebody else you mentioned, 2 conferences. Is there somebody else you want? Isabel, can we talk a little bit about your reading? Is there, oh, you already have a text to self connection? Will you share it with me? Oh, she did. And what in the text made you think that? Could we add that part? What made you? Which part? What part? When you read about what?
Today I tried to teach Spider how to dig.
Oh. And so who's teaching Spider how to dig? Worm is teaching Spider how to dig. So could you say, when I read about Worm teaching Spider to dig, it reminded me of, could you say that whole part? When I read about
Spider, Worm teaching Spider how to dig. My mom teaches me how to behave when I dig.
do you think you could put that whole part down? That beginning part too? When I read about? Could you do that? Go ahead and try it. Boys and girls, I think you're ready for something else. And so sometimes teachers, this also, I kind of call this a mid-workshop teaching point, knowing we kind of have a shorter lesson. Sometimes I do stop in the middle, especially if I sense they're ready for something. I think I want to get them using that language a little more extended of when I read about, and this is going to set us up for, where's Maria? There you go. You're right. This will set you up for your share part 2 and some of that language. So boys and girls, freeze for a quick minute. People at your desk, people on the rug, you keep working because I kind of want them just to get connections first, and I want to check in with them. Boys and girls at the tables, I think you might be ready for another part. Rather than just saying on the Post-it what your connection is, I think you could also say, what did you read that reminded you of that? Isabella, will you tell everybody what your connection, tell us the whole part. Did you hear what she said, boys and girls? What did she say? When I read about. Can we say that together? When I read about. And so she told the part in the text that made her think that reminded her. So then she used the part that we know, right? So then she said, when I read about blank, I'm going to write on the thermostat. It reminded me of, I think we're even ready for the last part. Do you think like we could say how that helped us better understand the story? Could we try that part? That's new. I'm going to put it in red. Should we say that, teachers too, like that helps me understand the story, or it helps the language, what should we say? Just that helps me understand the story. What do we write down, Maria?
It helped me understand that blank.
Perfect. It helped me understand that, or it helped me understand the story. What do you think?
We just said it helped me understand that blank. So it could be about a character, it could be about the story.
Boys and girls, does that make sense to you? It can be about a character, it can be about, but something in the story. Something in the story. How did that connection help you understand? Right? You might need 2 Post-its for some of this work. Go ahead. You guys at your desks, keep going. And you guys back here, did anybody have a connection? Here's what I'd like you to do. You know what I'd like you to do? You two can be partners. Kingston, can you scooch over? You two, Scarlett and Joey, can you be partners? Can you share with each other your connection? And let's say, see if we can try that part. When I read about, it reminded me of, Could you try that? Okay, go ahead. And Joey, here, can I help you with this part? So, look, this is a whole new connection. Do you want to go back to your other one? Because I know you're done with that one. Do you want to share that with Scarlett? Let's go back to this other one. So could you say, when I read about, can you say that part too? Say, when I read about.
When I read about many
What's going on here? The armies, what are they using?
tanks
Yeah. So when I read
in a
about.
battle.
Yeah. So let's start that sentence again. When I read about.
When I read about tanks, they're in a battle and they fight.
It reminded me of.
Reminds me of my dad is a soldier.
Awesome. Great job. And then can you say to Scarlett, say, do you have a connection?
Do you have a connection? This reminded me of my mommy because she didn't have no sugar and then she got mad.
Oh, I love this book. Gritch the Witch. Gritch the Witch. Can you start it with when I read about? Like, what part in the text made you think that? Can you say, when I read about?
When I read about Grinch the Witch, she didn't have any piggies and then she got mad.
It reminded me of.
My mom because she didn't have no sugar and she got mad.
Oh. Did that help you understand the story?
Mhm.
Because you can really understand how Gritch is feeling, can't you? Mad like your mom, right? Oh, okay, keep going. Keep going. Did you guys share your connections?
Yes.
Yeah? Wonderful. Kingston, can you guys tell me this a little bit? How is this work going for you, making connections? So teachers, another thing sometimes that I think it's important to do, especially when we're trying to support that metacognition and the thinking, like kind of we were talking about, they're sometimes not aware of that inner voice. And so getting them just to reflect on that process of thinking. How is this work going for you in making connections? Is that helpful for you? It's helpful? Kingston, why is it helpful for you? Can you hold that? So can you say it's helpful because?
It's helpful because I love saying connections.
Hold it just like that.
It is helpful because like you get to copy the same thing.
So like, it's kind of like copying a little bit, but it's kind of not. Because it's like what happened to you, kind of a similar thing that happened to the character. It's easier for you to think about like that? Yeah? Sometimes can I tell you what I worry about? Sometimes I worry that that's what happens. We copy too much. And that actually, I want you guys to listen in for a quick minute here too. Because Kingston had some interesting thinking. He kind of said sometimes, he said he loves making connections, and it kind of reminds him of copying. It's kind of like, you get to copy kind of what happened in the text. But I was saying, here's something I'm worried about. Here's something I'm worried about. Sometimes I'm worried we copy too much. I'm worried that it's almost like it's hard to know if it happened to you or if it happened to the character, you know? And so here's a suggestion that might help you really make it so that I can tell you're not just copying. Because it reminded you of it, right? But so if you add lots of detail to your connection, that way we'll know it's your connection. and not just what happened to the character in the story. Does that make sense? So like Joey's is a perfect example. So his connection, reading about the army using tanks, reminded him of his dad being a soldier. And so the fact that you talked about your dad, I knew this is your connection, Joey. You're such a leader in this work. You're doing a great job, bump me. I'm sorry, I should be holding this. I apologize. So just like Joey's connection, he added that detail with his dad. So we knew that happened to him. It wasn't something that happened in the text. Do you think that's something you can try in the connections now? Can you add lots of detail so we know it's your connection? Awesome, Kingston. Bump me. Psh, gotta make it explode. Psh, psh, psh. Okay, go ahead. I'll let you keep working. All right. And then sometimes too, so that was where that kind of explicit teaching, it perfectly came out right there. And so that became the part to where explicitly teach that detail piece. So perfect connection. So Kingston, you go ahead and keep reading. Get your pencil ready. There you go, to make those connections. All right. What do you think? Well, I'm debating. Do we want to see another, teachers, you guys tell me. So actually, we could either do the share, or we could do one more conference. We could do one more conference and then wrap up the strategy group, or we could wrap up the strategy group and go to share. What's your gut? What would you like to see? Share. Perfect. So let me wrap them up and then we'll go to share. Sound good? Okay. I'm going to give them just another minute and peek over their shoulders a little bit. Oh, she has a text-to-text connection too, so I'm curious. Wow, look at all that thinking. Are you including all those parts too? Look at you add those parts, how it helps you understand the story. Is there one connection that really helped you understand the story better than some of the others? Which one?
When the tree fell on the house, and then one underneath was really if the tree was going to fall on her house.
Nice job. And then in the share, so before they come, you might want them to either star the connection that really helped them understand the story most, maybe. Okay. And actually, I think whenever you're ready, well, you can go ahead and take over, because I think they're just continuing to work, so I think it's right. I'm going to give it the whole thing, because we're going to wrap up. Yeah.
Okay, you have about 1 minute. So wrap up your connection. Are you ready? Yes. Did you put it in your book? Yeah? Okay, so bring your book with your connections. We're going to come to the carpet. Finish up your thought and how that helps you understand the story. Okay, I see some of you have stopped making connections, so if you're finished, I want you to put the stickies in the book where you were making your connections. Anthony, can I borrow your book really quick? Look how Anthony did it. When he was making his connections on his sheet of paper, on his clipboard, then he went back into his text and stuck it in there. Perfect. So once you've done this, go ahead and find a stopping point. Put it in your book and meet me at the carpet. Time's up. Anthony, you're ready. Go to the carpet. You don't have to take the clipboard, just the book with your stickies. Joel's getting ready. He's going to put his stickies in his book and meet me at the carpet. I can already see my group at the carpet is putting their stickies in the book and wrapping it up. Perfect. Come to the carpet with your book and the stickies. If you have a book bag, just put it towards the back for right now, okay? Or right in front of you, that's perfect, where it's out of the way. Ready in 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Okay, eyes on me so I can tell you what the next step is. Are you ready? If you're looking at me, I'll know exactly that you're ready. Now, I want you to take your book. A lot of you brought your stuff with you. And I want you to try to make a circle. Try to make a circle so we can face each other. Okay, so you're going to have to come around. Maybe you can come close to me. Scoot back just a bit. Make a circle. Let's go. Make it happen. You want to sit right here? There you go. Perfect. Okay, so I know when I was looking at you working today, you were reading and you were writing on your stickies. What were you writing on your stickies? Who can tell me? Thank you for raising your hand. What were you writing, Joey? You were reading about tanks. So I'm looking back at our anchor chart, and what were you writing on the stickies about your tanks? So you were making a connection about the tank and the fact that your dad shows you a big gun. And some of you, I was walking around, I also saw what you were writing. That reminds me of, right? Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I want to hear these great connections that you were making. I want to know what this reminds you of, and how does this help you understand the book that you were reading. And I can see we're all reading different books, so I'm excited to hear. Now, I'm going to just choose a couple, and then I'll choose one person, and then that person, their job is after they share, they're going to choose somebody else, okay? And this is what I want to hear you say. My connection is, and you read your connection, okay? And then if you wrote, that helped me understand that, and you may tell us how did it help you understand maybe the character or what was happening in the story. And then if it's your turn to share, you can say, what did we say? And you guys probably remember, are there any questions, comments, or? Oh, and then if there are no question, or somebody has a question, comment, or connection, they may ask you that. And then whoever shares first, they're going to pick the next person. Do you understand? Yeah? This is not new to you. You've already done this before, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, I want to start with Jaden. Jaden, you can show everybody the book that you're reading. Read us the title of the book that you're reading.
Wimberly Worried.
Wimberly Worried. Okay. Now, I want you to go ahead and go in, and you know what, guys? I didn't tell you this earlier, but you may be wanting to think about what is the best connection that you want to share out in case they pick you to share out, okay? So go ahead and open up while Jaden is getting her best connection ready. I want you to be thinking about your best connection that you may want to share out, okay? Oh, people are already ready. Okay, good. Jaden, are you ready? Can you tell us your connection and how did that help you understand the book better?
When the tree fell on the house.
When the tree fell on the house. And do you want to show your picture? I'm going to stand back here so everybody can see. Okay, so tell us, what is your connection?
My connection is when Aunt Wimberly was worrying if the tree was going to fall on the house.
Oh, wow. She was worried. Do you want to show them the picture again? Look how she's looking up. Do you see how she's looking up? She's worried about if that tree's going to fall. And how did that make you understand the text better?
Because when it finished raining, my uncle, he left the house, and then cause I just left the house, and then he called my mom, and then he told her that that the tree fell on the house.
Oh, and how did that make you feel?
Sad.
So maybe you understand how she's feeling, worried, and then maybe a little sad when that tree fell. Thank you. Now, what do you say to the people? Are there any questions?
Are there any question, comments, or connections?
Pick one person.
Isabel. Because when Ramberly was wearing, she was wearing because the tree had a crack on it, and if the tree was going to fall on the house.
Okay. Okay, do you want to pick another person to go next?
Ryan.
Okay. Show us the book that you were reading first. Super Fly Guy. Ooh, I like that one. I like Ted Arnold. Okay, so do you want to tell us your connection? Say it again. Oh, about a spider? Let me read it. It reminds me of when my mom hit the wall with a swatter. Oh, so what page were you making a connection to? Oh, so how does that better help you understand the story? What was she swatting on the wall? A fly. Yeah, those are pesky, right? We swat at those things on the walls. Okay, so does that help you understand maybe what's going on? But your main character's fly, right? So maybe that makes you think how he was feeling getting swatted at when you. Yeah. Okay. What do you say to the audience?
Why did you say that your mom was going to hit the fly with the swatter?
Because it really did happen, right? Did that really happen? Yeah? Remember when Miss Burton, I was listening when she was over here at the carpet, and I remember her saying, when people's connections have a lot of details, that really means it happened to them. And they weren't just copying the book, they're actually making a connection. So that's probably why, because that really did happen, right? Good job. Okay, I'm going to let you choose one other person, and then we're going to share with our elbow partner. So go ahead and pick another person. Joey. Okay, Joey, show everybody. I think we saw what you were reading. Show us the front cover right there. Tanks. Oh, you know what I noticed? His is nonfiction. His is not fake. So you're reading a different type of text, all about tanks. Okay, so tell us, what was your connection? And you told us one earlier. Maybe it's the same one or a different one. What is your connection? Your dad goes on the tanks. He's in the military? Yeah? And so how does that better help you understand the text, what you're reading?
She showed me all of them.
Wow. So you know what that makes me think? Yeah, you even drew a picture. Thank you. Do you want to show everybody your picture? Because that's really neat. Wow. There's lots of detail. That's a really good connection too, because it makes me think maybe if you're reading something, since you've seen it and he's showing you some tanks, you really get to understand those tanks better. Now, what I want you to do is, if you didn't get to share, even if you did, I want you to turn to your elbow partner, and I want everybody to get a chance to share. But before we do that, what do you say? Are there any comments, connections, questions?
Like your dad showed you all the tanks.
When did he show you all the tanks?
When he was battling?
Did he show you pictures? Yeah? He showed you pictures? Awesome. I want you to turn to somebody, and I want you to share, especially if you didn't get to share your text connections and how it helps you understand. Do you want to come over here? Did you guys get to share? Oh, you're his partner. Do you guys want to share? He shared. Do you guys want to share? Or you can share with him. You want to share with him next to you? Do you want to share with me? Yeah.
When I read, and I just can't draw. Walk upside down.
People cannot walk upside down. No. But that spider can. Yeah, read.
Spider was trying to teach worm how to walk upside down. That reminded me people cannot walk upside down.
Rather than jumping in and then talking to me. And I'm hearing lots of that language, if it helped me understand, which was kind of that next place we for sure wanted to go, which we knew they were doing. When you're done sharing, your eyes can come back on me. Thank you, Joey, for having your eyes on me. Thank you, Isabel, for having your eyes on me. I know a couple of you are still wrapping up your conversation. I love it. Even over there, they're still even sharing questions, comments, or connections. I didn't expect that in the share. Did you teach them to do that in their partnerships even? They just do it. So Joel, thank you for having your eyes on me. Oh, good. Scarlett's ready now. Hi. Look there. Let's listen in. Oh, you can finish. We were just listening in to you finishing your sharing. It's okay. Are you done? Oh, okay, that's all right. Sometimes it's neat to hear. Boys and girls, here's what I loved. I loved right now just listening in to these conversations you were having, because here's the thing. We know that when we're reading, we're thinking, and we have that inner voice going on that says, that reminds me of, or I wonder. And the more we talk about our thinking, the better readers we're going to be. So thumbs up if you did a lot of thinking when you're reading today. I'm so proud of you. And because we know what we really focused on today, that good readers, when you're reading, you make connections. And those connections help you better understand the story, right? And the important parts of the story. That's something we'll continue to practice. So thank you so much for letting us learn with you today and read with you. And I'm going to turn you over to your teacher, and she'll let you know what to do next.